Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as promised, I'm bringing you guys an update on my Sky Striker deck. Since the previous ban list hit, Widow Anchor went to 1. The deck did take a huge hit, but it's still a very playable and still a very powerful deck. It just had to flex around its strategy, try to figure out what's the best way to play the deck now. Because Thunder Dragons now have a higher chance of beating this deck. In fact, a lot more of a chance now that Widow Anchor's at 1. But that being said, Sky Strikers can still play that defensive strategy, and it still has the consistency to still be able to win events. So, this is actually a pretty good deck to pick up. It's not the strongest deck anymore, thankfully. I mean, I was getting tired of this deck being number 1, so I'm glad that they finally toned it down. But anyway, I thought I'd just show you guys my own personal build on Sky Strikers and just show you what I got this time. Alright, so starting with the main deck, the only monsters I'm playing at all is Sky Striker Ace Ray. I'm not running any hand traps in this build because this is actually the Card of Demise build. So 3 Sky Striker Ace Ray, and that's all you'll need. Alright, so now we're already moving to spells. So starting off is 3 Engage. This is your Pot of Greed. It searches out all your Sky Striker cards, and if you have 3 or more spells in your grave, you can draw 1 additional card. So Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage, definitely a much needed card to run. 3 Area 0, just a good way to dig out your Sky Striker cards, and also if it is sent from field to the grave, you can special summon Wraith directly from your deck. So it's just another good way to get instant access to your Ray. Next, 3 copies of Card of Demise. I think this is literally the only real expensive card in the deck now because it just took a major spike in price. I think every printing of Card of Demise is 13 to 17 bucks. So this, I think, the only real card you have to invest on. Next, 3 Called by the Grave. The fact that so many cards got hit, you need to fill in the blanks, and Called by the Grave is a good way to do that. So just to kind of get rid of problematic monsters or just deal with hand traps overall, Called by the Grave is definitely the card you'll need. 2 Shark Cannon, which just basically act as Called by the Grave as well. But of course, you have 3 more spells, you can take control of the monsters that you banish. So Shark Cannon, definitely an amazing card. So yeah, just a good way to extend. The 1 Widow Anchor, of course. 1 multi-roll for recursion. Hornet Drones. Eagle Booster. Jammin' Waves. Afterburners. And then lastly, for another additional recursion, Hercules Base. So these are all the much needed staples for the Sky Striker cards. Alright, let's move all that to the side. Alright, so moving on. I'm running 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. I was going to go with MST, but I think Cosmic Cyclone is a little bit better right now. So, and honestly, most of the time your opponent's most likely going to pop your Area 0 by mistake anyway. And you can also get rid of it with multi-roll as well. So Cosmic Cyclone is just another way to defend yourself from those pesky trap-heavy decks. 2 Foolish Burial Goods, just to keep adding spells to the grave. And of course, to go with it, Metal Foes Fusion for an additional draw power. For the rest of the one-ofs, I got 1 Terraforming, 1 Rhoda, and Upstart Goblin. So, yeah, that's the general gist of it. Alright, so from here on out, it's just trap cards. And that's one of the things about this deck now is it can actually run a lot more traps. So, starting off with the new staple for Sky Strikers, Compulsory Evacuation Device. I think a lot of Sky Striker players are actually running this now to replace the Widow Anchor. Because the whole point was just to, get spot removal, but now you want to bounce back the cards that could potentially, hinder you, like Colossus, this deck has a harder time dealing with Colossus, so this is actually one of the best ways to do that. You also got cards like There Can Only Be One, so, and this card never hurts Sky Strikers in general, so that's one of the cool things about it. Now, this one is just kind of my own personal preference. I'm running 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. I've seen some people run Lost Wind too. I might go with that as well. But the theory behind Solemn Judgment is that the fact that it can take out everything, but also in case your opponent happens to main deck cards Evenly Matched, which is this card's major weakness, this is just a good card to defend yourself from that. So again, that's just a theory, and if anything, I might, like I said, I could easily go back to Lost Wind because Lost Wind has Sylph Recursion and the fact that it's permanent negation. So yeah, so it's really all up to you. Alright, so now moving on to the extra deck. Gotta run the 1 Kagari. Even though it's at 1, it's still much needed. I'm also running 3 Shizuku, just to dig out your Sky Striker cards. Got 3 Hayate for the fact that it can attack directly, so it's really just gives you the advantage in time most of the time. and one Cayenne. I was running 2 for a while, but I figured only 1 is enough. Next, 1 barricade board blocker. This is mainly just to protect your multi-roll. You never really want to lose it. So barricade board blocker is just a good way to do that. And it also recurs your multi-roll if it's already in the grave, so yeah. I'm running 1 Hita. This is actually really good against Salamangreat and the Mirror Match, because the fact that you can take control of your opponent's Kagari, and you basically just link off with it, so yeah. I'm also running the Nightmares, Phoenix, and Unicorn only. I'm not really running Cerberus right now. 1 Ningirsu. I finally found my copy of it. Turns out it was actually sitting in one of my binders. I didn't even realize I put it in there. And for my Link Force, I'm running Avermax, which is surprisingly easy to make in this deck, and Borosword Dragon. And that's generally it, you know. Alright, so now we're moving on to the side deck. Side deck's pretty standard. I'm actually running 3 Artifact Lancia, only because you can actually set this like a spell and trap card anyway, so I figured this is going to be like the best way to deal with Thunder Dragons and Orcust. To deal with like combo heavy strategies, to just like to pump out those massive boards. Dark Ruler no more. I'm also running Shattered Ride, you know, also really good against the Mirror Match and also against Salamangreat, or just any deck that's really search heavy, so Shattered Ride is actually not a bad choice. I'm running 3 Evenly Matched, and then of course 3 Red Reboot. So yeah, that's generally it. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments of what y'all think, and yeah, I'll catch you guys again next time.